All right, let's jump right into this. Today, we're breaking down the exact blueprint for what is, let's be honest, the holy grail of physique training. That wide, powerful V-taper. Or, what we like to call the cobra back. And the really cool part about this explainer? We're looking at this through two totally distinct lenses. Whether you're all about mastering your own body weight with calisthenics, or you just love moving some heavy iron with dumbbells, we've got a complete path for you. We're going to deconstruct the mechanics, the specific exercises, and the literal science of building that commanding back presence using either path.
Okay, let's dive into the blueprint really quick. 1. The foundation. 2. Slot 1, vertical spreader. 3. Slot 2, lat stretcher. 4. Slot 3, horizontal driver. And finally, the blueprint system. So before we start dissecting the mechanics here, I want you to make a choice. Seriously, commit mentally to one of these two paths right now. As we go through all of this, which route are you visualizing for yourself? Are you taking the calisthenics path, mastering your body in space, or are you taking the dumbbell path, utilizing free weights to isolate and overload? Lock it in, because we're about to put both of these methods head-to-head for every single function.
Section 1. The foundation.
Look, if you've been hammering your back and just not seeing that width develop, there's a very specific reason for it. Most standard back workouts mistakenly focus like 90% of their effort on thickness. They're just hammering the traps and rhomboids. And sure, those muscles are great if you want to look thick from the side, but they do absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing for that wide sweeping V-taper we're after. We need a massive shift in focus to the latissimus dorsi. These are your wings. To build that sweeping look down to a narrow waist, you absolutely must prioritize training your lats above all those upper back muscles. They are the true secret to the cobra look. And to build them properly, well, we can't just throw random exercises at them. We have to train them across 3 very specific functional slots.
Section 2. Slot 1, the vertical spreader.
This first functional slot requires a pulling down motion. This is what physically makes your lats wider. It is the absolute foundation of your wingspan. So let's look at our first head-to-head matchup. If you chose the calisthenics path, your tool for slot 1 is the wide grip pull-up. This isn't just a good bodyweight exercise. Our source material literally calls it the non-negotiable king of calisthenics lat width. Now, on the flip side, if you're repping the dumbbell path, your king is the single-arm dumbbell row. It gives you this massive range of motion and is just the ultimate unilateral free weight builder for the lats.
So the crucial point here is how you actually execute that calisthenics path. With a grip wider than your shoulders, do not just think about pulling your chin over the bar. If you do that, you're pretty much just using your biceps. Instead, step 1, initiate the pull by depressing your shoulders first. Lock them down to pre-tension the lats so those pesky traps don't take over. Step 2, drive your elbows down to your back pockets while driving your chest up toward the bar. And step 3, squeeze at the top, then really control that negative. That slow, eccentric stretch on the way down? Yeah, that is where the muscle is truly built.
Now, what if you're doing the dumbbell row? Well, you have to remember this rule. You're not pulling in a straight line, you're pulling in a J-curve. Seriously, visualize that. To completely bypass the traps and actually fire the lats, place one hand on a bench, keep a flat back, and let the dumbbell hang so you get a nice steep stretch. From there, do not pull straight up. Actually scratch that, imagine your elbow as a hook, and you're driving that hook back toward your hip in a swooping J-curve motion. It's a total game changer.
Oh, and keep this in mind for the dumbbell row too. It isn't just a lat builder. This is an anti-rotation exercise. You have got to fight the urge to twist your torso as you pull that heavy weight. Keeping your spine completely locked and parallel to the bench, that's a stabilization drill that forces a maximum super clean contraction directly into the lat, rather than cheating and using your lower back.
Section 3. Slot 2. The Lat Stretcher.
A dominant V-taper isn't just about pulling strength, right? It's about that flair. To unlock that incredible fullness, we have to train the lats in a fully loaded stretch position. So here are our specialized tools for slot 2. For body weight, it's the close grip pull-up. And hey, don't confuse this with the wide grip we just talked about. These are completely different tools for entirely different jobs. Now for the free weight path, it's the classic dumbbell pullover. Both of these movements hit a fundamentally different mechanical function than our vertical spreaders in slot 1.
Let's break down those close grip pull-up mechanics. By gripping the bar inside shoulder width, either pronated or with a neutral, palms facing grip, you get this massive range of motion. You want a deep, loaded stretch at the very bottom. Just let your shoulders come up slightly and then drive your elbows down and back. And check out that last bullet point. For a pro-tier challenge, pull your knees up and tuck them in tight. This engages your core heavily and translates all that tension straight down into your lower lat fibers for maximum fullness.
Moving over to the dumbbell path. The dumbbell pullover isolates your lats in an overhead stretched position, like pretty much nothing else. Lying with your upper back on a bench, keeping a slight bend in your elbows, you're going to slowly lower the weight behind your head. And this brilliantly illustrates the importance of breathing cues. Inhale deeply as you lower the weight. This physically opens and expands your ribcage, which maximizes that aggressive lat stretch without hyperextending your shoulder joint. Then, exhale as you use your lats to pull the weight back up in a nice smooth arc.
Section 4. Slot 3. The horizontal driver. This third slot is what really finishes the V-taper. It builds all that crucial detail and thickness in the lower lats that completes the V-shape all the way down to your waistline. The final showdown for this slot puts the lat-focused inverted row up against the chest-supported row. Both of these are fantastic isolation movements designed to strictly target those lower lat fibers while totally eliminating momentum.
If you're taking the calisthenics path with the inverted row, listen up, because this is probably the most important myth-busting cue you're going to hear today. Pull to your waist, not your chest. I see this all the time. When you get under a bar for an inverted row, a normal pull straight to your chest hits your upper back and traps. That is exactly what we are trying to avoid. To make it lat-focused, you must drive your elbows down and back, literally pulling your body up toward your waistline. When you do that, you'll feel your lower lats engage like never before. It's wild.
Now, whether you're doing the inverted row or lying face down on an incline bench for the chest-supported dumbbell row, you need progressive overload. For body weight, simply elevate your heels on a box to shift more of your weight straight into the lats. For dumbbells, the incline bench physically eliminates any chance of momentum and takes the traps out of the equation, but take a look at those intensity variables at the bottom. This applies to both paths for sure: an explosive pull, a hard 1-second squeeze at the very top, and a brutal 3-second negative tempo on the way down. The quality of your contraction is far, far more important than how much weight you're actually moving.
Section 5. The blueprint system.
Okay, so we now have a massive arsenal of 6 incredibly powerful lat-building exercises spread across 3 distinct slots. But, having the tools just isn't enough. As this quote reminds us, knowing the exercises is only half the battle. You need the structure. Now, what's really interesting here is that you can do wide grip pull-ups and J-curve rows literally all day, but if they aren't organized properly in a weekly routine with the right volume and recovery, you are not going to achieve that absolute back dominance. The core principle here is hitting these 3 slots consistently over time.
To get that exact structure, our source material points to a full system outlined in a book called the 10x Strength Formula. It provides a highly specific 30-day progression that integrates the complete system structure. It factors in strength, mobility, recovery, and control, the whole shebang. It's all about taking the core principles of these 3 lat slots and programming them in a way where your body actually adapts and grows.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Let's say you follow this blueprint exactly. Your lats are flared, your back is completely dominant from every angle, and your V-taper is fully built. That's great, right? Well, a perfect V-taper is absolutely useless if your shoulders are completely flat. As the source material warns, most people out there are still only training 1/3 of their deltoids. So as you head out to apply today's back blueprint, I want you to ask yourself, is your shoulder training actually matching the intensity of your new Cobra back? Because trust me, mastering the back is really just step 1 in completing a total 3D physique.